Welcome to Optimal Timelines. My name is Sean, and this is going to be your August 2025 tarot readings for your North Node by sign and house for the first half of August. Now, if you're new to my channel, the reason I use the North Node in tarot readings as opposed to your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant sign is that it's recognized in astrology your North Node is your North Star. It's what you're here to learn, accomplish, and master in this lifetime. So it's much more relevant to your everyday life and much more accurate in tarot readings as opposed to your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant sign. Now remember, you're going to want to watch two readings, one for your North Node by sign and one for your North Node by house. Now, before we begin, there's a lot of intense things that are going on across the world, but these readings are for our individual personal path because we can't control the world. All we can do is try to become the best version of ourselves. With that, I'm going to connect to the energies and we can begin. I call upon my spirit guides, guardians, and the wisdom of my ancestors to bring forth the information that's true and correct for all who see and hear these readings, that it may bring them the most beautiful, happy life possible and set them on their most optimal future timeline. So may it be. Okay, North Node in Aries and or the first house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you for the first half of August is the reversed Page of Pentacles. Now, pages a lot of times can be, the messengers. They're like messages to us. And I feel like that for all of you, there's going to be the first half of August, things that you're dealing with that are things of a value nature, like things in your life that are valuable to you. Now, the pentacles can mean anything from, money, finances, property, anything of value. Okay, so I think that for some of you, there's going to be something regarding tangible assets. Okay, as I said, like raises, finances, property, things that we own, that are value. But then also for some of you, this is going to be non-tangible things we value. And what are those? Like our relationships, there are time, our health. But whatever is of most value to you in your life, whether that's, tangible, physical, or non-physical, is going to come up the first kind of half of August. And what this is a period of like getting you to transform a part of you in order to improve this. Now we'll look at your timeline cards to kind of get a little bit more detail here. So you've got the Six of Wands reversed. You've got the Magician card upright, and you've got the Hierophant reversed. So starting with the Six of Wands reversed, okay? The way this is going to feel for most of you is when the situation arises within the first 2 weeks of August, it's going to feel like, you're not kind of winning it, or you might not know what way to go in whatever this is, whatever things of value that you're having to deal with the first half of August. And it's going to feel like, like not like you're on the path to victory. But the reason for that is it's because, as I said a couple of moments ago, it's trying to get you to transform a part of you, in your life. Like, for example, the way things change in people's lives is because something comes up that is a challenge, right? If things are going perfect, in every area of your life, there's no need to change, right? So this is about transformation. So don't get too hung up on that. It feels like, okay, it's a challenge and you have to overcome it, and you're not sure if you can overcome it, but you can overcome this, okay? And I'm going to tell you how. So how you're going to do this is going to require, the Magician card. This is going to require you to think differently, to be clever. Remember, the Magician card is ruled by the planet Mercury, okay? So this is, thinking outside the box. This is solving problems and puzzles. It's using everything at your disposal, because the Magician is the master of all the elements: pentacles, wands, cups, and swords. And so he is a person that can use everything at their, like, you have what it takes within you to do this. Now, the thing with the Hierophant reversed is, this is being stuck in old patterns. So the way that you're not going to solve whatever this is by doing what you've always done, or thinking and feeling the same way that you've always done. So whatever this is, if it has to do with a valuable relationship and how do you navigate that situation, you're going to have to do something that you haven't done before, or try a new path. If it has to do with money and finances, you're going to have to solve that by doing something, different. So that it's going to feel uncomfortable. But here's the tip for you. Always remember your North Node in Aries and or the first house, what you're being told to do in this lifetime and rewarded for being assertive, for even being aggressive sometimes, for being impulsive, for making decisions from your gut instinct and not second guessing your gut instinct. And that would be your Libra South Node or your 7th house South Node. Go with your gut. Be bold, okay? That's what this lifetime is for you. It's about being bold. And if your decision is wishy-washy, or if what you decide to do is something you've always done, remember those key aspects. And if you need to refresh yourself, what are the positive, attributes of Aries and the first house? Look them up, okay? Google, Chat, GPT, all of that. Research it. And, if you always go with the instincts of what the best side of Aries is, you're going to be okay. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the 10 of Wands reversed, and you've got the 3 of Swords upright. Now, the one thing that for a lot of you that could be a stumbling block, and this is why this is advice, is that a lot of you could be burdened regarding this situation that has to do with some sort of an emotional wounding. Okay, now we don't only get emotional woundings from our romantic relationships, or partnerships, right? We get emotional woundings when, at our jobs, at work, through friends, through different organizations, okay? And so there's something that has to do with, like, when this happens, whatever this is, and this challenge comes up, don't go into, like, kind of like feeling sorry for yourself, or feeling like, a loss of energy, because it could be deflating, like emotionally. That's what I'm getting, that when this happens, it can be deflating to you. And then what can happen is, when if you allow it, like, this challenge comes up, and then you allow it to, like, drain your energy, because you go and say, like, oh, why did I do that? Or why did this person do this? Or how am I going to get out of the situation? It drains your energy. And what ends up happening is, you're making the situation, instead of using that energy like the Magician and trying to think and solve it and be bold, like, you're not going to let the emotional side of yourself draw energy down and burden you. So this is saying, like, just if you feel like that, it's okay. We have to honor our feelings, but you have to snap yourself out of it, okay? And again, always remember, in this lifetime, think of the warrior energy. Think of I use this on many occasions, talking about a martial arts master training the adept, and training someone in martial arts. They're tough on them, and you have to face challenges with boldness and bravery. It's all these things: courage, bravery. You will be rewarded for doing that. And they always say that bravery isn't the absence of fear; it's acting in the spite of that fear. Okay, and that's what this lifetime is for you. So take on this challenge, be bold, do something different. Don't let your energy be drained by, you know, your emotions or by fear, and you're going to be okay in this. All right. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value, and I thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal reading based on your astrological chart, or if you'd just like to show the channel some love, there's going to be some links in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Taurus and or the second house. Okay, very interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Ace of Pentacles reversed. And I feel like that the first half of August, there's going to be a situation or situations that are asking you to step into your independence in some way in your life, okay? And I think for each of you, it's going to be, you know, different areas. It could be multiple areas, but think of the word like, independence of somewhere in your life, like, breaking away from um, being tied down to connections of some sort. So this could be in business, in personal relationships. It doesn't mean breaking away from a job or a relationship, but it means gaining more independence, because we can be connected to our jobs, our careers, our friendships, our organizations we belong to, or our personal romantic relationships. We can be connected, but we can also be independent. Okay, and so the first half of August is asking you to kind of break away and become more independent and step into your personal power. So the first 2 weeks is like this whole training thing of you stepping into your North Node in Taurus power, or the second house. And yeah, let's get some more detail because we'll get some clarity here. So you've got the Queen of Pentacles upright. You've got the High Priestess reversed, and you've got the Five of Pentacles reversed. So we'll start here with the Queen of Pentacles and the High Priestess reversed, okay? These two cards are representing your North and South Node, okay? So you've got the Queen of Pentacles here is talking about your North Node in Taurus, okay? Because Pentacles rule all of the earth signs, Taurus among them. And the High Priestess is talking about your South Node in either Scorpio or the 8th house, okay? And what this is going to do is remember that, I always remind people that with their South Node, you have lots of gifts, natural gifts that are found in your South Node. What are those gifts? Well, the most people that have a South Node in Scorpio or the 8th house have the gift of understanding people and situations at a deep psychological level. Understanding like how to go under the radar, how to investigate, to go beyond the surface of things, right? And that is a gift. But with those gifts, they can become overused, because what happens is that in order to have that, most of the time, people that have their South Node in Scorpio or the 8th house have these like very deep rooted connections with things in their life, with their relationships, whether that be, work, career, friends, family, or love relationships. Okay. And so what that we can rely on those connections. Like, in other words, it's like, think of like it's almost like an umbilical cord, like an invisible, umbilical cord where you're being fed by those relationships. And there's that. I mean, there's no really, when you think of like the connection between like, a child in the womb and the mother in the umbilical cord, like there's no closer connection, right? It's that type of energy. But see, that gives you the gifts of being able to go like deep into, relationships. So what happens is the analogy is, when the child is born, there's still a connection to the mother, but it comes out of the womb and the umbilical cord is detached, and the child becomes a little bit more independent, still connected, okay? But the independence as the child goes, keeps growing year by year, okay? And so that's what this is saying is that you naturally have these connections with people, things, relationships, situations in your life. And so now you're able to step more into, remember, stepping into your power and your independence is a positive thing. It will help your life. Now, what is going to happen is with this Five of Pentacles reversed is the way it feels like as you're stepping into independence is it could feel like the feeling of being left out in the cold. Lots of clients that I've had over the years when they have a North Node in Taurus or the second house, as they stepping out from and releasing that umbilical cord within their relationships, okay, it feels like they're left out in the cold. That's what this card is saying, that it feels like, what am I going to do now? Like, you don't feel fully supported. And most people that have this North Node in Taurus or the second house have a history of, kind of, if they think back, like, since they were a child, constantly feeling like they weren't supported. It's like being ushered out, like, it's that kind of constant feeling, and it's not a pleasant feeling for you if you have that North Node. But you have what it takes to be independent. And actually, the more that you step into your independence in small ways and big ways, you're going to see how it transforms your life. And I think, like, the first half of August, there's going to be an opportunity to kind of do that. This is something of you stepping into your power. Now, going back to the Ace of Pentacles, I feel like this is going to have something that has to do with, like, money and success. Like, when you're able to do this, it's going to pay off either, like, sooner or later. For some of you, it's going to be more of an immediate payoff. For others, it may pay off more down the line. What does that mean? It's like when if this is playing out in your work or career, it could mean, a raise or something to that effect. Or being more independent could be like, just the way the future unfolds is, let's say a person all of a sudden is stepping into their power and they're becoming more independent out in the world. Well, that can be an attractor for someone, like if they're single and because they stepped more into their independence, they were able to attract the partner of their dreams. Okay, these are just, kind of hypotheticals, or, how it could play out. But it is going to feel initially, if it feels uncomfortable, it's okay. It could feel like you're not being supported. Now, the two advice cards are, you've got the Temperance card reversed, and you've got the King of Pentacles reversed. The Temperance card here reversed is saying that this is part of, the Temperance is about inner alchemy. Okay, one of the meanings of Temperance is that this is a card of how do we change and evolve as people, okay, as individuals. When we make changes in ourselves and become a better version of ourselves, what we're doing is we're creating the alchemy within us. We're transforming and transmuting our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, all of that, and we go out the other side. That's like turning lead to gold. Okay, every time a person does that, like a person all of a sudden, goes from maybe not being so healthy and not in the perfect shape, and all of a sudden starts to transform themselves and eat better and exercise and all of that. That's alchemy. They're literally going from, it's this metamorphosis of changing. So that's what this is saying, is that this is kind of a period of, metamorphosis, and that this King of Pentacles, along with the Queen, the reason it's reversed is because this is a work in progress. So be patient with yourself, but remember, look up what it means to all of the good aspects of Taurus and the second house, but look up the good positive aspects of Taurus. Try to embody those aspects and act and think and feel from that, and you won't go wrong as long as you're stepping into that Taurus energy. things will work out, okay? But it could feel strange at first, okay? But you got this. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal reading based on your astrological chart, check out my website. There's a link in the description box below. Or if you just like to show the channel some love, would appreciate it. And there's some links down below. With that, I'll say thank you, and we'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Gemini and or the third house. Okay, interesting. The card that popped out for you, the theme card, is the reversed Three of Pentacles. And I feel like for the first half of August, there's going to be something that occurs for each of you, and it has to do, it could either be like work or career related, or even if you're not working, it's something that you do like work related. So like even if you're a stay-at-home parent, it has to do with the work you do as a parent. If you are, you have your own business, it could be something regarding that. Or if you are a volunteer, so it's something that you are doing, some work you are doing, whether or not that's a job or a career. And I think that what's going on here is that there's something to where you may feel like maybe slightly put down or criticized or not appreciated for something that you have done or are doing, okay, in some way. And as I said, like, let's just say that this was, a parent or a grandparent, and the way that you are, raising your child, or you're getting some criticism or something. So, you know what I mean? It could be, or at work, or something that you don't feel appreciated in some aspect. And so when this happens, what I feel like is happening is it's getting you to look at, be able to take something in regarding, like, maybe seeing yourself and the situation in a new way. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Okay, we're going to look at your timeline cards and we'll get some more clarity on that. So you've got the Fool card reversed. You've got the Queen of Swords upright, and you've got the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, upright. So starting with the Fool card, what this is that when this comes in, like this, some sort of, like, it could be like a mild, criticism or correction of something that you have done. It could be something you said. And as I said, this could play out even in, like, within friendships. So not necessarily work. Like, let's say a friend says, hey, blah, 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 this happened, and it could come out like as a criticism, right? So it's something, as I said, that you have done, okay? And for a lot of you, it might be in a work, situation. But the way it could feel is, it could feel like it's like it creates something in you that is like a deflation. I guess that's what, because one of the things about the Fool card is it's new beginnings. But when you think about the energy of like a new beginning, it's like you go into it and it's like you go into something, and then all of a sudden it could feel like you're slightly, kind of deflated, right? But what this is doing is this is trying to get you to step more into your Gemini North Node or third house North Node. And that's what this Queen of Swords is saying here, is that when the criticism or correction comes in, and I don't think it's necessarily going to be, for some of you, it might be, it might come out more negative. Some of it could just be like a slight, like, correction. What you want to do is, you want to listen to what it is that they're saying about the situation, okay? And it doesn't feel good. There's different kinds of correction and criticism. There's some that is kind of like, malicious, or not nice. Okay, no one likes that. No one likes any sort of criticism, let's be honest, right? But there's also kinds that is just like, maybe, kind of like a slight correction, right? Like if, if you like mispronounce a name and someone just says, it's actually pronounced this or whatever, and you feel embarrassed, or you could feel, deflated. No one likes that. But as individuals, especially for Gemini, is remember, one of the things you're doing in this lifetime is you're learning to see things from many different perspectives. You're learning to solve puzzles. You're here to look at things in lots of different ways, and there's not just one way to go. There's not one way to solve a problem. That's your south node in Sagittarius. It's like my way or the highway or whatever. And when you really look at life, think about it. There are lots of ways to go and do things. Okay, there are lots of ways. And so this is about being able to like differentiate between, like, it doesn't mean you have to follow every single piece of advice that anyone gives you, okay, or criticism, but it means just to consider it. Like, don't, like, we all have met people like this where literally, like, they cannot take any sort of criticism or direction, and even to the point where, like, it's very obvious that they're wrong, right? And as I said, that's difficult to do, but that's part of your path, is to be able to learn and say, like, oh yeah, like, and when you do that, after a while, when you just let it, and this is one of the things that I've had to learn, in my life, when someone points something out, and you just like say, oh, okay, and it might have a little twinge for a second, but you say, okay, well, I stand corrected. And what that does is you stand in your power more, because the ability to be able to do that, to like take direction and say, wow, I was wrong or mistaken. It's a learning thing, right? Because, you think about it, as I said, when you are learning any skill, and remember, one of the, cards that rules your North Node in Gemini, or the third house, is the Magician card, or the planet Mercury, right? When you're able to do that, that's how people learn. Like, let's say you want to be a great musician, and you're taking lessons, right? And so you're working on it. You have an instructor, and the instructor says, oh, okay, do it this way or whatever, and we tend to like allow people to do that more when we're like paying for like lessons. But it's the same thing in life. Like, you're here to learn from many different angles, right? Now, when you do that this month, okay, I'm seeing something to where this is going to pay off for you with like more like a peace of mind. When you're able to like, I feel like there's gonna be something that happens for each of you. And if you can say, like, that you're right, like, and you're able to learn something from somewhere outside yourself, I feel like it's going to pay off for you with not with more peace of mind, not only immediately but in the future. That's what this is, because you're able to really now think of the world like this resource, right? That's out there, that is there, and you're here to learn. Remember, one of the things that you're here to do is to be the eternal student, okay? To keep learning. You never stop learning in this lifetime, especially for your North Node. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the Knight of Pentacles upright, and you've got the Star card reversed. Now, the Star card is one of those cards that is a great card to have even when it's reversed, but it's like a delayed energy. But what it's signifying is, it's signifying that this is something karmic in nature. This is something that's so important in your path in order to learn this. And this can literally, the skill of being able to take in information and advice, okay? I won't even say criticism. We'll just say it could be advice, okay? Advice, criticism, direction, the ability to do that and learn from it. And, it doesn't mean, as I said, you have to take everything everyone says. If they come in like real nasty, just say, well, I appreciate that, but I don't really appreciate that tone. That wasn't really very, nice or kind. Okay. So you don't have to just listen to everybody, but the ability to do that karmically is a huge skill that can change your life and ultimately lead to a better life, more financial security, more happiness, peace of mind, as I said. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is saying something that's really interesting. This is also going to have a stabilizing effect in your life, meaning that all of the Knight cards are cards of movement, but the Knight of Pentacles is like a steadying knight, a knight that is grounded but still moving forward. So this is going to move you forward, but it's also going to like stabilize your life. And how can that play out? Because when you have this North Node in Gemini or the third house, the universe is not going to stop throwing things in your path that are getting you to look at life from multiple ways. Look at what you're doing, what you're saying, where your life direction is. It's trying to get you to open up and be that kind of eternal student, right? But when you learn that and you say like, okay, I'm willing to take on information, advice, all of that, even criticism, when it's done with kindness and love, take it on, and I'm able to learn from it, and it's going to have a stabilizing effect in your life. So whatever this is, whatever this like advice, criticism, or whatever is that's coming in, see what you can try to learn from it. And when you can say like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to try that. That sounds good. And you're going to see that it's going to pay off right away. Okay. So remember, our North Node is not something that comes readily or easily. Okay. That's why if everyone could do it, they would be doing it, because it doesn't come natural to us. But when we start to put the effort toward that, it really can have a great payoff. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value, and I thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal reading, check out my website in the description box below, or if you'd like to show my channel some love, there's going to be some links down there also. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Cancer and or the fourth house. Okay, interesting. The theme card that popped out for you is the Knight of Pentacles upright. And when I saw this card, I was the phrase that came to my mind was steady progress forward. Like steady progress forward, adding value to your life, but moving forward steadily, not necessarily too fast, but just being kind of, like steady progress. And I feel like the first half of August, that's what this is all about. This is trying to like keep you on path. Like the pentacles have to do with things of value, right? So stabilizing your life and remembering what it is that's important to you, keeping that in mind for whatever happens the first 2 weeks of August, but keeping on path and steady progress forward. Now, let's look at your timeline cards to kind of get some more clarity on what this all means. So you've got the Ace of Cups reversed. You've got the Eight of Swords upright, and you've got the Five of Swords upright. Okay, so I feel like we're going to take all these three cards kind of at once. I feel like that there is going to be a situation that pops up for you the first 2 weeks of August to where it's testing you to stay on path. Okay. And it could be something that is like some sort of communication that wasn't pleasant or negative, or it could be some sort of interaction with somebody or people that like that wasn't pleasant. And the way that it's going to play out is with this Ace of Cups is you're going to feel it like emotionally, right? But the way that a lot of you that have this North Node in Cancer and or the fourth house, what can happen a lot of times when there's some sort of a situation that could be like an emotional wounding, Um, the way that you go about it a lot of times when you have this north node, because of your south node in Capricorn or the 10th house, it could be like building a wall or putting an armor around your heart and emotions. That it's something that is a very big issue for people that have a south node in Capricorn or the 10th house, where it's like, I'm not going to feel that again. And so like those are the type of people that sometimes can have like walls built around their emotions, right? And so what you want to do is you want to kind of guard against that. Now, the reason I say that, look at how interesting this is. You've got the 8 of Swords upright, and you could see that there's this like wall of swords that's almost encircling this person here, right? And the thing about the 8 of Swords is that this is one of the names of this card is a mental prison of our own design, of our own making. Okay, why do I say of our own design? Because you have the ability at any time to set yourself free. There's lots of people that go through life. We've all met, I mean, all of us have probably done this to a certain extent, but everybody, we at least know somebody on the outside that has felt that they were confined or restricted or in a confinement that they couldn't get out of. But it really was, they had the key the whole time. That's what this card is saying, that you have the ability to kind of let yourself out of this. So when this happens, you don't want to build these swords around you. You want to say, no, I'm not going to. You want to feel it, because that's important for your for your north node in Cancer or the 4th house. You want to feel it and say, okay, I feel it, but you don't want to build that protection and circle around you. You have to move on from it. And that's one of the biggest, skills in life that's difficult. I mean, look, I've said on the channel before, my north node is in Cancer, in the 11th house. Okay, so my north node's in Cancer, and so I know this, that one of my things I've had to learn was, when I get wounded in some way, not to kind of, encircle myself and build a wall. Okay, and even that's a problem sometimes with Cancer, as you go into your shell, right? And so it's not an easy thing to do, but it's something that's important to, like, how do you do that? Is you let the emotion you feel it, and then you let it move through you. And the way you let it move through you is you have to attach your energy to something else. So that's what it's not talked about a lot of times. A lot of times people say, oh, don't let something affect you, or let it move through you. But see, that's only part of the formula of what you have to do. What you have to do is, that energy is still there. So you have to take that energy and you have to focus it in on something, okay? And here's where your advice cards are coming into play here. You've got the Knight of Wands upright, and you've got the Page of Swords. So the Knight of Wands is saying, like, okay, when you have that wounding that comes in, some interaction that wasn't pleasant or whatever, you feel it, say, okay, like, that didn't feel great, okay, and then you might have to deal with something in just the immediate vicinity of yourself. But then afterwards, what do you do with that energy? Okay, instead of building a wall and letting yourself kind of get confined, is you have to take that energy and apply it. And so they say, like, success is the best revenge, right? So this is kind of applying to that. So think of the energy of, like, and we've seen this play out countless times with people we've known. We've probably done it sometime ourselves. We've seen it play out in movies, right? Where something happens and someone says, oh yeah, well, I'll show you. And then they begin to, like, take that energy and then they invest it. So they use the wounding as an energy and inspiration, as a catalyst for something positive. And see, that's the part of the thing that dealing with emotional wounding that we have to realize, is we have to reinvest that energy, because that energy doesn't just go away. it's there. And so then we take that and use that as fuel. That's essentially what this Knight of Wands is saying. Use it in whatever this is and say, like, yeah, I'm gonna better myself. I'm gonna better my situation, and not let it kind of, stagnate within yourself. And then this page of swords is saying something interesting. It's saying like three things. Number one, to be vigilant and seeing situations around you, like making sure that you're aware, because sometimes you can see things coming at you if you're paying attention before they actually manifest. Like, that's happened with me a lot, where it's like, if you're really paying attention to situations in your life, a lot of times you can kind of see something coming. And that's part of the intuition and emotional intelligence that you have as a North Node in Cancer and or the fourth house. Is you kind of feel it, coming, right? And so you can ward that off, because you're like, you can kind of see that coming before it happens. The other thing this is talking about is it's talking about handling it in the right way. So, like, what, there might be a situation where when something happens, you don't want to, like, freeze, because that, when you have a North Node in Cancer and a South Node in Capricorn, or fourth house, 10th house, there could be this thing where you freeze and you're like, and then all of a sudden an hour later or a day later, you're like, oh man, why didn't I do or say that? And so that's the other thing this card is saying, is it's saying, like, be prepared and handle things in the moment. Like, you may have to clap back or say something back or respond to this situation in an appropriate way, whether verbally, in some way. But you want to be smart about it, but you want to have something. The reason that's important, you want to have some sort of response in dealing with the situation, is because it helps move the energy through. Like, for example, we go through some sort of a situation that wasn't pleasant, and then all of a sudden we have kind of a good thing where we stand up for ourselves or we say something, and even though it hurts, it's kind of like it helps deal with the blow of the situation, type of a thing, because it's like we were ready and prepared. And I know we've all experienced both. We've experienced times when we've been caught off guard and we're like, whoa, and then we like, why didn't I do that, right? But then there's also been times when we just like, and it's a beautiful thing when we just kind of handle the situation in the moment and then are able to kind of stand up, kind of for ourselves. And then the last thing this is saying is regarding communication. Be wary of, communication, things you're saying, things you're signaling to the world, but also in direct communication. Like, be smart about what you say and what you text and all of that. Okay. So it's all kind of part of this, but yeah, you got this. Remember that this is something that, you want to stay on path. Okay. And this is a skill building thing of when you, how to stay and stand in your power, and particularly not let your heart get calloused or hardened because of situations. And that's what is a very real problem for this North Node a lot of times. So anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal reading based on your astrological chart, check out my website in the description box below. Or if you just like to show the channel some love, would appreciate it. There's some more links down below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Leo and or the 5th house. Okay, interesting. The theme card that popped out for you is the Emperor card reversed. And you also have the Empress here, which we're going to get to in a minute. So it's interesting. I feel like that this first half of August, what's happening for you North Nodes in Leo and or the 5th house, is you're being asked to step more into your Leo power, into your sovereign self. But I feel like the way that's going to happen is I feel like that there are examples that are going to come around you. Like, what I've noticed with this North Node is that, remember, you're stepping into, your royal self, your sovereign self in this lifetime. You're here to become some sort of a, a dignified leader in something. And that doesn't even necessarily mean in a career or business. You can be a stay-at-home parent, or grandparent, or doing that, but something, stepping into that kind of royal or regal self. Now, what this is saying is, I feel like there are people and examples around you throughout your whole life, and currently, where and this could be from people you've actually like known and experienced, people in authority in your life that are good examples, but also even like characters in like movies or books. But there are examples of people stepping into their personal power. But I feel like in particular, there are actually like people there that are here to set the example. And I think that a lot of you, it's going to start to occur to you, like there's these examples of how you can be the best version of yourself by stepping into your power of what is it, what gifts do you have to give to the world, what kind of leadership roles can you take. And like I said, when I have worked with clients with this North Node, the last thing they want, the vast majority of them, the last thing they want is to like be singled out and step into their power. They're most of them are kind of staying within their South Node in Aquarius, and or the 11th house. Was, I just want to be part of a group. I want to be a support structure. I want to just kind of play a role in the background. I don't want to step out into some sort of a role to be seen. And so I feel like there's some examples in your life where you're starting to realize, like, yeah, like I can do that. I can step into a role that's allowing me to step into more personal power. Okay. And that's what this first half of August is about. Now let's look at your timeline cards. We'll get some more clarity here. So as I said, you've got the Empress card here too, right? You got the Empress upright. You've got the Hanged Man reversed, and you've got the King of Pentacles reversed. Now, the Empress card, along with the Emperor, is saying that like what's happening here with this transformation is the power that you are stepping into isn't something that is like egotistical, although you are allowed in this lifetime, like having a very strong, healthy ego is something that is very good for you in this lifetime. Okay. And it's not something that should be avoided. Now, to give you an example, as when you see someone who is a very talented and successful, rock star, musician, pop star, okay, someone who is a very talented actor or actress, okay, it doesn't mean you have to be an egotistical jerk, but they have healthy egos. You have to have a healthy ego in order to step out of the crowd, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that all of you are meant to be some sort of like, rock star, okay? But everyone that has this is supposed to step into some role of stepping out from behind the shadows into the light. The reason for that, and that's where this Empress comes in, is because you have things of value within you that can help the world. So you're not stepping into this role just to stroke your ego. Okay, you're doing it because everybody that has this North Node has something valuable to give to the world. Okay, whether that be, for some of you, it could be inventing something or becoming famous of some sort. But that doesn't necessarily mean just that. It could mean you could be, as I said, a parent. And by you stepping into your power, you're able to nurture and feed people around you in your family, your children, whatever the case may be. If you're a teacher, you can do that. You are stepping into your power in order to help, your students learn and become better people and stronger. So you see how this plays out? So it's not just purely an ego trip. Now, the Hanged Man is interesting reversed, okay, because this is something that you haven't seen before, okay? And with the reversed King of Pentacles, okay, this is about something that a lot of you have resisted. There's some stubbornness or unwillingness. That's what this reversed King of Pentacles is saying, is there's some resistance in stepping into this power. And I get it. It doesn't feel natural, okay? You tell a North Node in Leo most of the time, depending on their chart, of course, their whole chart, astrological chart, but you know, you tell them that they need to step into their power and be seen, whether they have, you know, a North Node in the 5th house and or Leo, and it doesn't feel natural to them. Okay, so I get that, and people can be stubborn and resistant without consciously being stubborn and resistant. And so what this is that it's about look around you. You're getting the message, okay, to see things, see how people in your life, whether they be actual people that you've known in the past or in your life, I feel like you're going to start to realize, like, yeah, I could do that. There are examples around you, and I feel like this is going to start to come to fruition this first half of August. I mean, look, we're going to be in Leo season, right? And so this is the time to do it, right? And when you do that, what you're going to see is that you're going to get more and more comfortable with that role of honoring your ego, honoring the self. Now, let's look at your advice cards here. So you've got the 10 of Cups reversed, and you've got the Death card upright. Now, as I always say with all the scary cards, okay, you know, the Devil, the Tower, the Death card, they're not literal. Now, why do I say that? The reason is because these are symbolic. Death is about transformation. Just like the Devil card is not talking about the actual devil or a demon, okay? We're talking about archetype symbology here, right? Now, the archetype of death is transformation. In order to transform ourselves, the old part of ourselves, the old person, has to die in order for the new person. The old person can't stay alive to bring the new person, okay? So this is about your transformation. And the 10 of Cups is saying this is the emotional fulfillment card. Okay, this is about the being emotionally fulfilled. Is that when you transform, the reason you're doing that is not the end goal. Is, yes, you're stepping into your power. Yes, you're giving something to the world. But the end result of all of that is not just, oh, wow, I've got a great ego. Look at me, how love me, or whatever. That's not what the end goal is. The end goal is emotional fulfillment. That's what you get by stepping into this role. That's the end result of all of this, okay? So that's what you're doing. Remember, you are going to be rewarded for stepping into your power, for stepping out, for being bold, for showing your talents, for putting yourself out there, and you know, sharing what you have within you, within your heart, within your mind, with the world, okay? Being able to be seen. All of those things you're going to be rewarded for in this lifetime. So yeah, very, very powerful reading for you. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal reading based on your astrological chart, check out my website in the description box below for all the services I provide. And also, if you'd just like to show the channel some love, there's going to be some links also. So with that, I'll say thank you. We will see you on some more videos. Many blessings to you. Okay, North Node in Virgo and or the 6th house. Okay, interesting. So you've got the theme card that popped out for you is the Ace of Cups, and I feel like for you North Nodes in Virgo and or the 6th house, for the first half of August, there's this kind of emotional renewal or regeneration that wants to come up within you. Okay, it's almost like a renewal or kind of an old youthful energy of your heart, of your emotions that is wanting to come up, and that there's an opportunity to kind of like tap into, like when someone, and it could be for some of you even like kind of like new love or new friendships. But it's like when, if you've had the experience of like falling in love, it's like your heart, you could go from, let's say, someone went through a bad breakup or whatever, and they've been single for 2 years, and then all of a sudden like find somebody. It's that kind of a feeling. It's like not only falling in love, but it's like this emotional renewal. This can happen sometimes when people like change careers and they get a new job. But what I'm thinking for you is what this is that this is you going back to a place in your emotions of who you once were, that you were like emotionally like strong, like you were more positive, like I feel like this, it's like this fountain of youth within your emotions that's happening. Let's look at your timeline cards and we'll get some more clarity on this. So you've got the Page of Wands reversed. You've got the Nine of Swords reversed, and you've got the Six of Cups reversed. Now, this is actually, with all these reversed cards, they're actually positive, because tarot cards, depending on the card, they're positive, when they're in their reversed state. But this is telling a story here, okay? So starting with the Page of Wands, and starting with the Nine of Swords, both of these cards, what's happening here is that the energy that you are starting to experience is, have you ever had the situation, and I know we all have, where you've been like physically ill, like maybe you had the flu or a cold, right? And you maybe had it for a few days, and when you first begin to, like, the fever breaks, or you start to feel a little bit better, your throat isn't as scratchy, and you start to like be able to breathe easier, so when you're physically ill and you start to get better, that feeling of coming out of it, you're not quite like fully there, but it's like you've gone through the worst of it, type of a thing. And that's what this Page of Wands is saying, is that a lot of you have been going through something where, you've been going through some maybe challenges, some physically, some mentally or emotionally. But basically, this is saying, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, it's about energy, okay? Physical, mental, and emotional energy. And it's like you've experienced that, and you're beginning to come out of it. Now, the reason I say that is because you have this Nine of Swords reversed. This is about, maybe there have been a lot of like, fear and anxiety, things keeping you up, stressing you out, all of that, like a lot of worry and anxiety. And you're starting to work through that, okay? The reason is it has to do with this Six of Cups reversed. This is saying that, like, things that you've gone through in your past, you're starting to heal from them, or you're starting to realize and like let things go. But at the same time, as I said in the beginning of this reading, you're going back to a place that we've all had, a place in our life where, we've gone through transitions, but we've had a place where we can look back and say, wow, like, this was me at my, emotionally strongest, emotional and more confident, and I felt the best. And that could be for different people. Maybe it was in your teens, maybe as a child, maybe it was in your 20s or 30s, whatever it was. But all of you are, there's this renewal that's happening within you, and you're by healing all of this, and this healing is beginning. It's like you're going back to that place in time. It's like hitting the reset button emotionally, and so you're working through this. But remember, this is a work in progress. But as you start to feel gradually better, you want to make sure that you just keep continuing the process. Continuing the process, letting the things go that are in the past, live in the present moment. This is your North Node in Virgo. This is about being practical. Your North Node in Virgo, or the 6th house, living in the present moment. Invest in the present moment in your life, and realize that, allow this to happen, because I feel like a lot of this is, you're in this healing process emotionally. Now, the Six of Cups is also referring to, your emotional past, whether that be from childhood. And so that's something that a lot of you have been working on healing in your life. Now your two advice cards are, you've got the Two of Pentacles upright, and you've got the Devil card. Now remember, I always talk about the so-called scary cards, death, the devil, the Tower card. They're nothing to fear. These are archetypal energies. This isn't talking about the actual devil or a demon. This is about deep-seated fears and anxieties that's going along with this. Okay, this, like the old saying is, like, people, like, you have a devil on your back, right? It's something that is going, these are deep-seated, and a lot of times we don't even know how that these are affecting us, right? And so that's one of the things you're working through. You're in the process of literally healing yourself emotionally, mentally, in all different ways. Okay, and so this is, you are conquering these inner demons, okay, within you, and this is part of this process. And so, as I said, the reason it's in a process is you have the Two of Pentacles. It's about working on it. You're balancing this out. Now, it's going to take a while. At some point in time, the energies will, like, level out, okay, but this is a process. So remember, it's like I said, the analogy of coming out of that sickness, or the flu, of the fever started to break. You're not 100% yet, but you're in the process, and that's what's going on. You want to allow this process to continue, and always remember, monitor yourself. Look internally within yourself. Check in with yourself, check in with your heart, check in with your emotions, how you're feeling. Check in on a regular basis, multiple times a day. Okay, what am I going through right now? And that's part of this healing process that you're going through with your North Node in Virgo, or the 6th house. Check in with yourself, see where you're at. If your emotions are a little bit off, what do I need to do to kind of reset and during this whole process? But look, all of you in this lifetime are healing more and more and more. Be patient, keep working at it, and you're going to see that as time passes, you're going to become stronger in all things. Okay, that's part of your path, is the path of healing and balance. So anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website, and it shows all the services that I have in the link below. And also, if you just like to show the channel some love, there's also going to be some links there. So with that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Libra and or the 7th house. Okay, very interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Knight of Cups. And when I saw this card, I was thinking that what was really happening for you North Nodes in Libra and or the 7th house for the first half of August is, it's like this emotional quest that's going on for you. Like there's parts of your emotions that are opening up, and you're being asked to remain kind of open-hearted. For a lot of you, it could be like even like renewed love relationships or new love relationships. For some of you, it could be like the relationships you're in. For many of you, it's going to renew that. But it could be like friendships, things like that. But there's something to do with your emotions and your heart, and particularly it's because, I'm feeling like it's because, your North Node in Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. So there's all these like Venus type energies that I'm kind of feeling for you. Now, there's something that you are going to go through that's going to allow you or give you the opportunity to kind of have this, this kind of open-heartedness. And there could be like a challenge or a bump in the road that once you passed that, it's going to kind of open this up for you. Now, let me explain. We'll get into your timeline cards. So you've got the 7 of Wands upright. You've got the 6 of Pentacles reversed, and you've got the 4 of Pentacles upright. Now, normally the Pentacles, we'll start with these two cards here. Normally Pentacles, are things of value. A lot of times they're tangible things of value, physical things of value, like, money, finances, property, possessions, things of that sort. But they're also, it's about non-tangible or physical things of value for us, like our time, our love, our effort in putting into toward relationships. And that's what I feel like this is saying. But I think what's happening is that there's going to be a situation in your life with this, Seven of Wands upright, where it could be a little challenge or bump in the road, but you're going to have kind of the upper hand in this, okay? Like you might be right about something. You might, it could be like win an argument, or just kind of, you come out on top in some situation. But what you're being asked to do is you're being asked to show some grace and open up your heart to the situation and to the person. Like, I think we've all experienced, right, where, we've been, proven wrong about something, right? We've been proven wrong, and then all of a sudden that the person, like if we're wrong about it, and we concede and we give in, and then they call us on it, and then there's like a thing as a good winner and a poor winner. You know what I mean? Like there's people that will like rub it in, like, I told you, and they'll just like rub it into, and it's like a poor winner, and this is a skill that's really important in life to, like, there's going to be times when people need to be shown some grace, and I think probably some of you watching this have also had the opportunity where, you've had a person dead to rights. Like you've been right in the situation, you've been right in a conversation or an argument or whatever, and you come out on top, and you could kind of like finish them off and like rub salt in the wound, but you don't, you hold back. That's like showing grace. And that's one of the skills that of a true strong leader, of a benevolent leader, is, and that's what you're learning to balance. You're learning to balance. There's a thing about the ultimate bad side of your south node, okay, not yours, but just in Aries in general. There's a negative side of Aries, which is, the complete like tyrant, like is just like, complete force in going through life. But then there's also the using that force in a good way. That would be like the benevolent leader. And so the balancing is found in your north node in Libra. And so I feel like there's going to be a situation where, this is showing you're going to be on top of it, whatever it is. And then this is about showing grace. And it might not be easy, because I have a feeling that for a lot of you, it's not going to be like this person it might have been a difficult argument or something. So it's going to be difficult to show them some mercy and grace. And you can see that the Six of Pentacles reverses this person who's obviously, doling out something of value. But if you can do that, if you can resist the urge to, like, even though you could exert that kind of power, and again, that's the key word, power. It's for the North Node in Libra or the 7th house, it's the proper use of power. And it takes a very, very strong individual to hold back sometimes. And it doesn't mean that you need to, go the opposite route of like never, standing up for yourself or your beliefs or in a situation, but it's that balance. What's going to end up happening is if you can show someone some grace and you can resist that opportunity to kind of rub, salt in the wound, you're going to come out on top in a different way. Like you're really gaining something of value. Like that is the true sign of a truly strong person, when they can resist those, natural instincts that we all have, where we can try to, we have these natural drives sometimes, and when we can resist those, that's part of this whole path. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the Knight of Swords reversed and you've got the Sun card. And so this is what I was saying, you know, you have the Knight of Cups over here, right? Keeping your heart open, showing some grace, open-heartedness. And the Knight of Swords reversed it's literally one of the meanings of this card is like, slow down, hold your horses, like don't go into something, because you could very easily want to charge in and kind of, you know, exert power over this situation. But the true power is going to come through restraint. And again, this beautiful card here, the Sun card, this is, you know, the new you, the new you, where you, if you can do that, and you can find that balance and that beauty of, yes, you have strength in your South Node in the planet Mars, but also exert that beautiful energy of Venus and balance that out. That's the sign of a truly, truly strong person. So watch for this opportunity. The first, could be multiple opportunities, you know, also the first half of August. And show some people some grace, even when you have the upper hand, and you're going to see that you're going to feed yourself things of value. And that is, like I said, where true power lies. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal reading based on your astrological chart, check out my website in the description box below. Or if you'd just like to show the channel some love, I'd appreciate it. There's going to be some links in the description box. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Scorpio and or the 8th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Page of Wands reversed. And I feel like a lot of you may be going through some things like lately where there's like, maybe your physical energy level, your emotional and mental energy level has been kind of, you know, maybe off a little bit or down. And it could be like also energy and like inspiration, or like feeling kind of inspired, or that like spark, okay? And I feel like that's you've gone through kind of a trend where there might have been struggling with that, like either, as I said, physical, mental, emotional energy, one or all of them, and that kind of like spark in life. And the reason for that is because what you're learning on your path, one of the big lessons is that you're not like the lone wolf. You're not supposed to be completely independent, and like what your natural instincts are is to, like, you know, take care of yourself and feed yourself. Like, I need to be independent. I need to take care of myself and my situation, and I need to go out and take care of things, right? But one of the things that, you know, the cards are saying, and this is a big lesson for North Nodes in Scorpio or the 8th house, is to get recharged through your relationships, through your work relationships, through your personal relationships, family, and you know, love relationships, all the relationships in your life, friends, everybody. And you're learning to do that, you know what I mean? Because you already know how to be independent. You like to be independent. You don't like to ask people for things, for favors, you like to be the strong one, okay? Because everybody that has this, you know, South Node in Taurus or the 2nd house can act like pillars around with people. People like can depend on you. But what can happen is that in this lifetime with your North Node, it's not easy for you to recharge unless you are connected to the relationships around you, okay? That's the very, like, you know, intimate Scorpio thing. Through friends, through family, everything, work relationships, as I said, this is how you are renewed. And so if you're feeling like that, there's going to be opportunities to where people are, and they might have already have been doing this, right? They might be offering that, and you feel weird about it, because a lot of times people that have that North Node don't like to like ask people for things or rely on you know, people for things. But you know, it's like one of the big, you know, things about this North Node is, You know, it's that old classic song, lean on me when you're down, when you're not feeling good, you know, like that's one of the things, one of the lessons you have to learn, because there's people around you that are like resources. Now let's look at your timeline. So this will bear this out. So you've got the Lovers card upright. You've got the Two of Cups upright. And you've got the Three of Pentacles reversed. Now here we'll start with the Lovers card, and we've got the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so this is the thing here, right? Okay, it's the Two of Cups, you know, coming together emotionally, being able to help other people. They help you. It's a beautiful thing. One of the most beautiful things in life is being, you know, in being human, is when we connect emotionally with those around us. Okay, it's the thing that separates us, you know, as human beings. Okay, is that emotional connection. And I feel like there's going to be an opportunity for you to do that more, and you need to tap into it. Don't feel bad. It's good for you in this lifetime to rely on people and to ask people when you need help, when you just need someone to talk to. Okay, all of those are very, even if it feels uncomfortable, it's very, very important for your life path. And then here you have the Lovers card upright again. This is a karmic thing, you know. The Lovers card just doesn't necessarily mean, you know, romantic relationships. It's relationships of all kinds. But this is, the Lovers card is talking about the highest level of relationships, okay, that are like of a spiritual nature. There are things that there's karma involved, right? Now, the interesting thing is, I feel like there's going to be an opportunity for you to tap into these resources of the relationships around you, among them even work. But with this Three of Pentacles, I feel like how it's going to happen for a lot of you is it could happen through your work, where basically you need something because of either your work or career, or even if you're not working and you're retired or you're a stay-at-home parent, it's something that you do. Like, for example, if you are a retiree or a stay-at-home parent. So the stay-at-home parent, what you do for a living is you're a parent and you take care of a household or whatever that is. If you are a retiree, maybe you volunteer or something to that effect, right? So I think that there's going to be something to where it's through something you do is where you're going to need assistance. Now, you might be getting the assistance outside of this. Let's say if it's a work or career or job, you might be getting assistance outside from that, or you could get it from within. Maybe there's someone that you have to rely on. But I think it's going to be kind of work related, or what you do related type of a thing, what your normal duties are, because whatever we are doing, we all have our normal daily, weekly, monthly responsibilities, and that's how it's going to kind of play out. So definitely rely on those resources, the people resources around you. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the Sun card, a beautiful card to get. And you also have the Seven of Pentacles reversed. The Seven of Pentacles reversed is saying, like, you know, this is a card of patience or waiting for things to grow. But it's also, when it's reversed, it's about like waiting around, like in other words, let's use this whole like planting, gardening type thing. It's like when you know that the fruit is ripe or the vegetables are ready to be picked, what are you waiting for? Okay, when you know you need help and you need assistance, but you're kind of like hesitant, you know, what are you waiting for, right? So it's about tapping into those resources around you, having the ability to say, okay, you know what? It's time, okay? And ask for that help, because remember, even if it feels uncomfortable, this is part of your path. And what's going to happen is, this is the sun is really the energy of life. The sun represents life. Okay, there is no life on this planet without the sun. Okay, all of us, that is the ultimate energy source, you know, on this planet. Okay, And so when you do that, this is the recharging you're going to get. When you are able to um, tap into the resources and rely on people, ask for help, ask for assistance, allow people to help you, you're going to get fed. But also the interesting thing about this is you're giving them the opportunity, you're giving someone the opportunity to feel good about themselves, like they feel like useful. Like think about, times in your life where you really out of the goodness of your heart want to give something to somebody, whether it's your time, your skill, your effort, your money, whatever it is. How good does that feel? But what if the person, how we've all experienced that, right? But we've also experienced people when you offer this help and you're ready to help them and they're like, no, 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 it's okay. They think they're being nice, but they just denied you the opportunity to give. So when you ask for assistance and you're able to, rely on people, that's what forges really, really strong bonds and close relationships. And you're allowing that other person to, feel good, and those bonds. Do we always want to be with around people that, no, I don't need your help. No, no, we're all just like independent contractors out there, right? That don't need any assistance ever, as opposed to, holding the door open for, a senior citizen coming in. It's like, no, I don't need your help. I mean, like what kind of world would that be, right? So anyway, this is the thing. Don't feel bad about, we all need help. And this is one of the things that this is not a lifetime for you to be so independent. This is a time for you to tap in and to rely on others on occasion, okay? Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like a personal reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. And also there's going to be some links to show some love to the channel if you so choose to. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Sagittarius and or the 9th house. Okay, so the theme card that popped out is the Knight of Swords upright. Now, all of the Knight cards are cards of movement, and the swiftest of all the Knights is the Knight of Swords. So I think that what's happening is that, remember that, your North Node in Sagittarius and or the 9th house is ruled by the planet Jupiter, okay, the largest planet in our solar system. And this planet is a planet of expansion. And this is a lifetime for you to expand in different things, in knowledge, in ways of being, in your ideas. Okay, this is, about movement forward. So I think that there is one or more areas in each of your life that you've been feeling like you want to move forward, and maybe you haven't moved forward and we're going to get into the reason why. But this is a time you're saying, like, you're being told, this is a time to move forward. This is a time to move on something and act on something. But there's a reason why, you might be hesitant, okay? So what areas of your life have you been feeling like you need to move forward? And have you been thinking about, going in a different career direction, finishing your education or getting more education or starting your own business or whatever it is? There's some area that you're being asked, as I said, to move forward in. Now let's get some more detail. We'll look at your timeline card. So you've got the Star card reversed. You've got the Knight of Wands reversed. And you've got the 5 of Swords upright. So yeah, this is really interesting. So the Star card reversed, this is one of those cards that is positive even in its reversed state. But this is like a kind of a delayed energy. And I feel like when you haven't been moving forward in one or more areas of your life, you kind of been feeling like you want or need to, but you haven't. What it's doing is it's delaying karma. It's like the karma, the good karma is waiting for you, But a lot of times karma, we have to kind of like open the door and walk through before karma can happen, right? Now, it doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes, karma in our life, both good or bad, is things that it just kind of comes up based on our past, right? But it's kind of like, that saying, it's like shoot your shot, right? You cannot make a basket unless you shoot your shot. And so that's what this is saying, is that, you don't know whether you're going to make it or not. You don't know what the karma is, but you have to attempt it. And so that's why this is reversed, because when you start moving forward, even if it, you have to make adjustments on your path forward, that's fine. But the fact that you can't get the success unless you kind of start the movement forward, so you can't reap that good karma that's waiting for you. Now, the things that are kind of holding it back is this, okay? The Knight of Wands, again, as I said, you have the Knight of Swords over here. All the Knights are cards of movement. And the Wands in the tarot deck represent energy, also inspiration. So energy and inspiration. And one of the things that could be holding you back is that you don't feel fully inspired because you can't see the finish line or the finished results of moving forward. That could be holding some of you back, where you're like, well, I want to move forward, but how is this all going to work out? And see, if you really talk to anyone that's ever been successful in different parts of life, okay, art, movies, business, or whatever it is, they just start moving forward. They might have a few moves ahead figured out, but they don't really, know exactly how. They just have to start moving forward, right? So this, basically, the Knight of Wands is saying, one of the things that could be holding you back is like you're not feeling inspired because you don't see the finished product, or you don't understand what the end result could be fully. And so it's kind of like, oh, I don't know yet. So don't wait around for you to figure it all out. Just begin moving forward. And as you go, you're going to figure it out, and it's going to feed that inspiration. Now, the Five of Swords is interesting because, this is a card of, it is a negative card, and it's a card of, like, basically, people, either saying things that are not nice, or mistreating, or it's a card of, mocking, a lot of things. It's not nice. And what I'm feeling like with this is, what's really important for you when you move forward is, don't talk about it. Don't really talk about it. You might, if you know the person really, really well, be very, very careful, even with people that are close to you, about what you want to do, about what your goals are, what your plans are, what is it that you are moving towards. Because sometimes people can be what they call like dream killers. They can do it actually on purpose, and that's, kind of in a way because of, envy or jealousy, right? That's sometimes they do it inadvertently, like they could be a dream killer because they don't maybe have inspiration in their own life, and they can't see. So they're like, they could be something like, they're not doing it on purpose, but like, well, how are you going to do that? Like, that's what I mean about the inspiration withering out, is like, really? I mean, do you have the resources to do that? Or what's going to happen a year or 2 years down the road? And so it's that dream killer energy. So what you have to do is, you in this lifetime, remember, you are a North Node in Sagittarius or the 9th house. It's about your truth, your path, not what everyone else thinks. But see, with your South Node in Gemini or the 3rd house, it could be like, well, what do they think? What does she think? What does he think? And then all of a sudden, you're going to get all these, you don't want to talk about it. Okay. You want to keep things close inside. You just want to follow your truth. What is your truth saying? And kind of go with that. Now, your 2 advice cards are, you've got the 7 of Cups upright, and you've got the Page of Wands upright. Okay. So this is that inspiration that I was talking about. Okay. So your 2 advice cards are, with the 7 of Cups, you have decisions to make, okay? So you're being told to move forward. Now, what direction are you, or directions are you feeling like you want to move towards? Make a decision. Not everything that we do is starts with a decision, okay? So make a decision of what you want to do and then begin moving forward. And again, this is talking about, the page is talking about the inspiration. Keep and protect your inspiration of what is your truth. Hold that close to you. At some point, you're going to get to the point where, you know, like our dreams are like little seedlings. I always talk about this, where when they first sprout up, they're very delicate. Like, you know, if a branch falls off a tree, it could squish it, people could step on it. You know, they're very, very delicate, okay? That's how our dreams start. But once they take root and they start to grow a little bit and they get stronger, they can withstand a storm or a branch, you know, dropping on them or whatever it is. That's what this is saying. Just protect your inspiration and your dreams until it takes root. Just take, you know, movement forward, and you're going to see that, you know, success is there. This is karmically, you know, good for you. This is a lifetime of expansion and moving forward, okay? Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. Or if you just like to show the channel some love, there's going to be some links down there also. So with that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Capricorn and or the 10th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Ace of Swords upright. And the funny thing is, whenever I see a card in a reading, I look at all the cards, but when I see a card, a lot of times it kind of gives me this kind of inspiration of this little like thought process or movie that plays out, or I'll hear a phrase. And when I saw this, I was thinking that what's going to go on for the first half of August for you is a lot of you are going to be challenged in a way where you're going to be asked to stand up for yourself, most likely verbally. Okay, so this is about like setting boundaries and standing strong, like being strong, having to as I said, like stand up for yourself, something you believe in. Maybe even for some of you, I'm also seeing that it could involve standing up for others. Like you know, you see something that's going on, like there's some sort of, you know, you like an abuse of power or something to that effect, and you're going to be given the opportunity to kind of, you're going to feel compelled to stand up and you know, stand up for somebody too. So it could play out both ways. Some of you may have both, but I think for a lot of you it'll be like either or. It's either standing up for yourself or for others. And I think it's going to be through kind of communication, as I said, setting boundaries. Let's look at your timeline cards, and we're going to get some more we're going to get some info on this. So you've got the Hanged Man upright. You've got the Six of Pentacles upright, and you've got the Magician card reversed. So starting here with the Hanged Man, what this is that this is, the Hanged Man is seeing things from a new perspective. But the reason that the Hanged Man has his hands tied behind his back, he's upside down, and he's, you know, has one leg tied behind the other, is, yes, to see a different perspective, but also the meaning of this card is, in order to get this realization or enlightenment or to realize something, he doesn't need to do anything other than, you know, maybe it's like just realizing it or having to say something. Like, he doesn't have to physically kind of do something. So what this means is that this situation is something to where you it's going to be more of a verbal stand, or setting boundaries, something to that effect. It's not going to be so much, you don't have to do something per se for most of you. It's not anything you physically have to do, but it's something that it's just a way of being. It's like realizing it, and you are using your words, and you're standing in your power, type of a thing. So that's what this is saying. And then the Six of Pentacles, again, you could see that this person is, passing out, coins to these people down here. This is what I mean, that this is, a card, obviously, of, charity and helping out. But remember, charity comes, in many forms, and when we stand up for ourselves and we stand up for others, when there's an opportunity to stand up for somebody, like I'm sure all of us, we've all been on social media for years, right? Have you ever seen a video come by where, some worker, a cashier or something, is getting berated and yelled at by a customer, and one or more of the customers like stick up for the cashier, you know what I mean? And they're like, they didn't have to, but they're like, they step in and kind of fill that role. So that's what this could mean. Some of you might have that opportunity. And it's a really, like, we need heroes like that. We need people that have, the guts to stand up for other people. And this is part of you, growing into that beautiful, strong Capricorn energy in the 10th house of being, it's toughening up. But you still have the beauty of your South Node, of your emotional intelligence and being open, with your Cancer or 4th house South Node. But this is the time to really do that. So some of you are going to have that opportunity. And the Magician here is saying that the Magician reversed card can sometimes mean a person that is kind of like a con artist, a manipulator, like a verbal manipulator. And I think that this is going to be someone or someone that abuses power. That's a big one for a reversed magician. So abuse of power, manipulation, gaslighting, all of that would be encompassed in the reversed magician card. And I think that it's going to involve, these type of people in the situation. So it's, you either have to stand up for yourself or for someone else. Look for that. Stay strong, stay alert, stay vigilant. And when you need to stand your ground, stand it, okay? Stand up, because this is really going to pay off for you if you're able to do this and you're able to stand strong. This is part of your whole like growth in your life. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the Three of Pentacles reversed, and you've got the Knight of Swords. Now, again, we'll start with the Knight of Swords here. You can see that the Knight here, he is holding the sword just like the Ace of Swords here. Okay, the Knight is charging off into battle. He's setting boundaries for himself or for someone else, but he's standing strong. He's not holding back. He's charging forward. Okay, and remember, a lot of this is going to be with communication. It's going to be done through just standing your ground firmly in communication. You don't have to do a lot. This is just saying that it's about taking action, but more of a verbal nature, okay, in this reading. And this Three of Pentacles, this is a work and career card. So I think that for a lot of you, this is going to have to do with work or career, or what you do on a daily basis. If you, are even a stay-at-home parent and you help out at a school or something to that effect, whatever you're doing on a daily basis that are your daily responsibilities, whether that be, work, career, or something else, okay? A lot of you, it's going to play out that way. So just remember, this is your chance, this first half of August, to be a hero, stand your ground, be strong, be there for someone else, be there for yourself. And this is going to lead to like a lot of growth. There's going to be a lot of blessings, and we need more people like this in the world that are able to, stand up for what they believe in and say what they believe and stick up for other people. So anyway, yeah, awesome opportunity. I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. Or if you just like to show the channel some love, there's going to be some links down there also. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Aquarius and or the 11th house. Okay, interesting. The theme card that popped out for you is the Ten of Swords. And, you know, I feel like a lot of you North Nodes in Aquarius or the 11th house have gone through things, you know, it could be from the last like few months to several months where, you know, even starting from the beginning of the year where there have been like kind of like endings in your life. And this card's nothing to fear. This is about endings. Remember, every beginning has to start with an ending, you know, and so this is like a transition, like when someone graduates, you know, from you know, high school, right, and they want to go to college, the high school days there are ending. That's an ending, and there's a new beginning. When someone is in a relationship and that ends, you know, and a new one starts. Okay, there's endings and beginnings, and that's all this is saying. Is that a lot of you have been dealing with, you know, kind of coming to grips with different, you know, endings, you know, in your life, and for each of you, it'll be different. Even just like, you know, lifestyle, way of being. As I said, it could be in multiple areas, and being able to, you know, navigate the challenges in life, to navigate the endings and then start the new beginnings is a huge skill. Okay, one of the reasons is because with your North Node in Aquarius or the 11th house, a lot of you, you know, a lot of you are used to you know, like winning a lot in past lives. Okay, because our South Node is one of the areas of our chart that represents our past life. And so you came from Leo, your South Node in Leo and or the 5th house, where, you know, you had a lot of wins, you know, under your belt, you know, in past lives and even in this life. And so this is an important thing to learn how to transition where, okay, I'm moving into a new direction, and be able to take that kind of ending and move on. It's important to understand how to do that. There's a skill to that. We can't just fold, like humans can't just fold up every time there's an ending. Okay, we have to deal with it, you know, and that's what this is saying. And so a lot of you have been kind of dealing with this. Now your timeline here to get some more kind of inspiration and also information is you've got the Two of Pentacles upright, you've got the Lover's card reversed, and you've got the Six of Wands reversed. So starting with the Two of Pentacles here, okay, you know, this is about balancing things. You know, this is about when, you know, you could see that this person here, there's like the ocean is like tossing the boat up and down. This person's on one foot juggling, and, you know, this whole situation here. But the interesting thing, you know, about this card is he's juggling these two pentacles and he's kind of off balance. But if you look closely, the pentacles have the infinity sign here. Okay, the infinity is talking about not only infinity but the infinity of cycles. Okay, just like, you know, the seasons, you know, fall, winter, spring, summer. Okay, that we talk about cycles, we talk about the orbits of the planets, all of that. Okay, the universe is about cycles, up and down cycles, and we have to learn how to adapt to the cycles of life, and that's what this is about. You've had some downtime maybe in certain areas. You might be really winning in one or more areas of your life, and maybe there's only one or more areas that you're having challenges in. Whatever the case may be, we have to learn how to deal with that. Now, the Lover's card reversed is some of you, it could be in personal relationships. It could be, you know, not only, you know, romantic partnerships, but also friends, family, work relationships. Some of you could be, you know, feeling the challenge, you know, of that. And then with this you know, Six of Wands reversed. Now, this is a card of victory. You can see that the person is riding the white horse and they have the laurel wreath of victory over their head, and yay, everybody, it's the hero, right? But it's reversed, right? And that's one of the things is, you know, being able to live your life and tell your story where, you know, you can be the comeback person, right? And that's everyone loves a story like that, you know, the big comeback. You know, someone is you know, at the top of their game, and maybe they get knocked down a bit, right? But they're making a big comeback, okay? We need that. So some part of their life ended and they had to, you know, pick up the pieces and, you know, build up again. And, you know, I just recently saw the, you know, new comedy Happy Gilmore 2. That was the theme of it, you know. Happy Gilmore 2, Adam Sandler, you know, his character, he was at the top of his game. And then all of a sudden, you know, something happened. Lots of things in his life ended and he hit rock bottom. And then now he has the opportunity to be the hero, to go through those endings, pick himself up, and climb up again. Okay, that is part of the story for a lot of us, and it's a big part of the story of these endings and new beginnings for someone that has a North Node in, you know, Aquarius, and or the 11th house. Now, your two advice cards, you've got the Death card and the Star card. Now, as I always say, the Death card is nothing to fear. All the so-called negative cards, you know, the Devil, Death, the Tower, okay, they're not literal. These are archetypal energies. The Death card is talking about transformation. You could see here it's similar to what's wanting to transform in your life. In order to transform and have the opportunity to have the comeback, there has to be the ending of something, right, in order to come back. And as I said, it's not talking about literal death, just like the Devil card's not talking about the literal devil or a demon, or the Tower is not talking about a building that is blowing up. The Tower is about, you know, some kind of a shock to the system that causes, you know, change, okay? So there's nothing to fear, but this is your transformation, okay? It's about being able to make that transformation from, like, the ultimate hero is the person that is not given $10 million and is, you know, hooked up with all the elite of the world, and then they just start a, you know, a business, and they're just like, you know, living, you know, the high society life, right? The real heroes are the ones that, you know, something happens or they start from the bottom and then they build back up. And that's what this transformation is wanting to happen. Now, the Star is talking, you know, it's upright. This is a beautiful card to get. And this is saying that this is karmically part of your path. So whatever in your life might have been on a downturn, whatever areas of your life, they could be multiple areas, take a deep breath and say, you know what? I got this. I'm going to make my comeback. And we're going to be able to get through this, okay? And we're going to be able to come back stronger, because everybody loves a comeback story, okay? That's the real hero. And so just remember, anything that has, you know, ended in your life and is transforming, it's giving you the opportunity to make that big comeback. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below showing all the things that I offer. And also, if you just like to show the channel some love, there's going to be some links down there also. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Pisces and or the 12th house. Okay, interesting. So the theme card that popped out is the King of Cups reversed. And I think that, like, the first half of August is a lot of you are coming to grips with, you know, kind of not feeling emotionally like strong or together for a while, okay? The King of Cups reversed is something like, you know, there's a disturbance in the emotional field, okay? There's things where it's not you're not feeling quite all together emotionally. Okay, it's something to deal with. And I'm getting from this reading, as we get into it, it's like that it's and it's funny because I'm seeing this a lot this month for a lot of the north nodes, where we're talking about cycles of time, where cycles happen. We have up cycles and down cycles, and it's part of life, and we have to learn how to navigate the down cycles, because everyone has them, and it's important. It's a huge skill to learn. But this down cycle is just something to where you might not have been feeling as emotionally strong or together as you would like. Okay, we're going to get some more details on your timeline here. So you've got the Knight of Cups upright. You've got the Nine of Pentacles upright, and you've got the Queen of Swords upright. So starting with the Knight of Cups, all of the Knights are cards of movement, and the Knight of Cups is the emotional quest, the quest that we go on, being open-hearted. It's like this kind of renewal, and where this is sending you into new directions emotionally was what this last cycle has done. It's like the feeling I'm getting is like a reset button. It's like the emotional life that you were experiencing just needed to hit like a reset button in different ways. It's kind of like it's part of the depth of growth. Remember that anyone that has a North Node in Pisces or the 12th house, right? You are here to experience a wide it's about experience. That's the key word. You're here to experience a wide array of things, both mentally, emotionally, physically. You're here to experience and kind of learn from them. So one of the things that you see a lot with North Node in Pisces or the 12th house is you'll see like occasional resets. And if you think back on your life, you can see these times where you go back and you're like, oh yeah, that was like a reset, and then I moved on, and then this was a reset and you moved on, and that's what this is. It's like, okay, it's time, you're hitting the reset button. And when you hit the reset button, after you kind of go through it, you begin anew again. That's what this is saying. You have a new quest. Okay, you're going in a different direction. It doesn't necessarily mean you completely change directions, but it's like you're renewed emotionally, right? Now, one of the things that is important going through this is with this Nine of Pentacles is saying that it's really important as you're going through this that you are staying connected to your gratitude, but also making sure that you are, being grateful and staying connected to what is giving you happiness in life. It's like always stay connected to that, because if you look at your life, like when we go through things, different cycles, right? We also have things in our life where, like when we're showing gratitude, we can, it gives us not only a better perspective, but it allows us to see kind of what is like most important in life, type of a thing, right? And so that, and here I'll give you an example, because this example wants to come up. So years ago, I was, working at a job where it was really like I didn't like it. I really wanted to kind of, get out of it. And it was and I felt like the cycle was coming to an end, but I was dealing with some very, very difficult people and situations in this job years ago, right? And it was affecting me. It was affecting my thinking, my emotions, and the way I was acting and reacting. But what happened is that I came across, this, person that had like a lot of physical difficulties and, disabilities. And seeing this person and their attitude and their, you know, gratitude of life and just and how they were dealing gracefully with their situation, it completely changed me. And I was like, wait, okay, yeah, okay, I've got a bad situation, or I'm in a down cycle here, but man, I'm so grateful, and I have nothing to really complain about. So basically it snapped me out of it. And that's kind of what this card is. It's like basically kind of like counting your blessings, right? And when we do that, what's really important is don't feel guilty for being, for not realizing it. Like, that's one of the things that can happen, is you all of a sudden like realize, like, oh man, like I have no reason to complain. Don't beat yourself up. Don't just say, you know what? Okay, snap yourself out of it. It's cool. We're human, right? That we have to, but we want to stay in that gratitude, right? So going through these cycles will kind of like, what is it that you have that's good around you? And that's what's saying with this card here. Now, the Queen of Swords is interesting upright, because this is referring to your south node in Virgo, but in a positive way, okay? This is either your south node in Virgo or the 6th house. And this is saying that while you're going through this process, the organization skills that you have and the focus skills that you have, this is a time when you can really tap into them in a positive way. Because a lot of times our south node, it plays out negatively because we're trying to like get rid of the negative side of our south node by sign and house. But there are gifts there, right? And so this is a time when, as you're going through this cycle, where you can help focus and organize. But what are you focusing on? You're focusing on what it is you want to do, your goals. You're on this new quest. You're able to focus on like positive things, right? And so that's where these gifts can come in, of just being grounded, being focused, keeping your mind free from being overrun by negativity or being down or whatever. That's what this card is saying. Now, your 2 advice cards, you've got some beautiful cards here. Even though they're reversed, both of these cards are positive, whether they're upright or they're reversed. So you've got the reversed Wheel of Fortune. This is the cycles that I'm talking about. And you've got the Star card reversed, okay? And so, look, a lot of you have experienced some kind of down cycles in one or more areas of your life, okay? And just like all cycles, they come and they go, just like the weather, just like the seasons, okay? This season will pass, okay? And this is part of you navigating these ups and downs. It's really important for you to learn how to do that, because, as I said before, your North Node is all about experiencing life and the fullness of life. And then this Star card reverse is saying, like, look, this is karmically happening for you. You are not meant, nobody really is meant to just have the quote unquote perfect life, okay? Because we won't learn anything. I know we all want the perfect life, but we're not meant to have that. We're meant to have perfection. Sometimes because we need to learn. So this is a time where you need to help, by doing what this reading is saying, help create the perfection in your life, okay? It's not going to just like manifest. And so this is part of what you're learning karmically, right? So it's very, very important. Remember, stay positive, stay grateful. Remember, all cycles pass, and we just end up learning from them, and they give us a deeper understanding of ourselves and of the universe around us. So anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value, and thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website showing all my services in the description box below. And if you just like to show the channel some love, there's also going to be some links there. So with that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings.